Long before Frodo, before Aragorn, even before the Rings of Power were forged, there was a love story so powerful it changed the fate of the world. Beren was a mortal man, hunted and scarred, with nothing to offer but a broken heart. Luthien was an elven princess, daughter of a Maya, the most beautiful being to ever walk Middle-earth. Their love was forbidden, impossible. And yet, together, they faced the Dark Lord himself. This is the tale of Beren and Lúthien, the first great love story of Middle-earth. Beren was the son of Barahir, a noble of the House of Beor, but his people were hunted and destroyed by Morgoth's creatures. Alone, ragged, and heartbroken, Beren became a legend, a phantom in the wilds, surviving by wit and will. When he crossed the enchanted border into Doriath, he did not know he stepped into a realm guarded by ancient power, or into the path of his destiny. In the heart of that forest, under the light of the moon, Beren beheld her. Luthien, daughter of the Maya Melian and King Thingol, danced alone beneath the trees, her voice weaving a song of such grace and sorrow it made the stars themselves pause. Her beauty defied words, hair like midnight, eyes like starlight, and a light in her presence that banished all fear. In that instant, Beren's heart was no longer his own. Luthien felt his gaze and did not flee. Instead, her song paused and their eyes met. Over days and seasons, drawn together by fate and wonder, they wandered beneath the trees. Beren spoke of his grief, his exile, his hope, and Luthien listened. And slowly, impossibly, she smiled. Love grew not from grand gesture, but from shared silence, from stories spoken under stars. At last Beren dared ask for her hand. He came before Thingol's throne, unarmed but unbowed. The court was stunned. A mortal man, asking for the daughter of the king. Thingol, prideful and cautious, masked his rage with cunning. He set a bride price no man could pay. A Silmaril, one of the 3 sacred jewels guarded by Morgoth, the dark enemy, in the iron crown of Angband. A death sentence, veiled in ceremony. The Silmarils were more than jewels. They were the light of the 2 trees of Valinor, captured in crystal, and stolen by Morgoth in the world's first betrayal. To seek one was to face death itself. But Beren did not hesitate, for in Lúthien's eyes he saw a light greater than any jewel, and he had already given her his heart. Beren set out alone, venturing north toward Angband, through the deadly lands of Morgoth's influence. Wolves, spies, and creatures of darkness hunted him. But Luthien would not be left behind. Defying her father's will, she escaped the guards of Doriath and followed the man she loved into shadow. Luthien was captured by her own kin, locked in a house high in the trees of Hirelorn. But her power was great, greater than any knew. She sang a song of enchantment so strong it lulled the guards to sleep. With her hair, she wove a cloak of shadow and vanished into the night. On her journey, Luthien encountered Huan, the great wolfhound of Valinor, companion to Celegorm, one of the sons of Feanor. Even the sons of elves desired her, but she would not yield. Huan, moved by her grace and purpose, turned against his master and vowed to protect her. Beren was captured by orcs and brought to the dungeons of Sauron, the lieutenant of Morgoth, who ruled the Isle of Tol in Garhoth. But Luthien came for him, cloaked in shadow, and with Huan's aid, she faced Sauron himself in a duel of song and power. Luthien sang, and her voice was so pure it shattered Sauron's spells. His fortress collapsed around him. Defeated, he fled in the shape of a monstrous bat, and Tol in Garhoth was freed. Beren and Luthien were reunited at last, but their quest was not over. Though reunited, Beren knew he could not abandon his oath. He would retrieve a Silmaril or die trying. Luthien, unshaken, chose to go with him. Together, they travelled to the gates of Angband, where even the greatest armies had fallen. To enter Angband, Luthien disguised them both. She enchanted Beren into the form of a wolf and herself into a bat. Passing through Morgoth's gates, they crept into the very heart of darkness, the throne room of the Dark Lord himself. There, before the throne of Morgoth, Luthien shed her disguise and sang. Her voice filled Angband with wonder, and even the Dark Lord was lulled into sleep. His court fell silent, entranced. Beren drew his dagger and cut a Silmaril from Morgoth's iron crown. But as they fled, Beren's dagger snapped while reaching for a second Silmaril. A cry rang out, and they were chased to the gates. There, Carcharoth, the monstrous wolf of Angband, attacked. Beren held up the Silmaril to ward him off, but the wolf bit off his hand and swallowed the jewel whole. Carcharoth, maddened by the holy light burning inside him, fled into the wild, leaving a trail of ruin. Beren, bleeding and broken, was carried by Luthien to safety. For a time, they knew peace in the green woods of Doriath, but the oath still hung over them. They returned to King Thingol, Silmaril lost, but the tale told. Thingol, moved by their courage and Luthien's defiance, at last relented. He gave his blessing, but warned that peace could not last while the Silmaril remained in the wild. Carcharoth rampaged across Beleriand, the Silmaril burning inside him. His madness corrupted the land. Beren, though wounded, rose once more. With Huan the Hound, he joined a hunting party to confront the beast in the forests of the north. The final battle was fierce. Huan fought Carcharoth, fang to fang, and slew him, but was mortally wounded. Beren retrieved the Silmaril from the beast's belly, but his own wounds were fatal. As he lay dying, he placed the jewel in Luthien's hand. Beren died, and Luthien's heart broke. Refusing to accept fate, she faded from the world and passed into the halls of Mandos, the realm of the dead. There she sang once more, a song of such grief and love that even the Valar wept. Mandos, who never weeps, was moved. He turned to the will of Eru the One, and a choice was granted. Luthien could return to life, but only if she gave up her immortality. She chose love, and so, for the first time, death and fate were changed. Luthien and Beren were restored to life, mortal together. They left the world of kings and battles behind, choosing a quiet life in the green land of Assyriand. There they lived in peace, far from the eyes of gods and war. They lived only once more, and only briefly, but theirs was a life filled with meaning, love, and peace, a life denied to kings and immortals. And when they passed from the world, they did so together, unafraid. Their son, Dior, would one day inherit the Silmaril and become the king of Doriath. From their line would come Elwing and Erendil the Mariner, whose light would shine in the sky for all ages to come. From Erendil came Elros and Elrond, and from Elros the kings of Númenor. Thousands of years later, one would be born from this line, a man who would also love an elven maiden, Aragorn, heir of Beren. In the end, theirs was not just a love story, it was the beginning of a legacy, the union of mortal and immortal, of choice and sacrifice, that would shape the fate of Middle-earth again and again. Tolkien called it the heart of his mythology, so much so that on his own grave he wrote a single name beneath his own, Beren, and beneath Edith's, Luthien. Their story was not one of power or war, but of love that defied fate, of a song sung in the face of darkness, and of a single jewel stolen from the crown of a god. Beren and Lúthien were the first to challenge the world's design, and in doing so, they won not just their love, but a new destiny, one forged not by the gods, but by mortal hearts. And so their tale was sung, not in triumph, but in beauty, not in battle, but in devotion. The love of Beren and Lúthien outlived empires, outshone kings, and echoed through every age that followed. And now, you know the song too. If you enjoyed the journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. There's a whole universe of lore waiting to be uncovered, so join us here at Lore Keepers, where we guide you from scroll to starship.